The Apocalypse Players present An Uncommon Burial. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario written by Danann McAleer in the style of M.R. James. With Joseph Chance as Dr. Henry Carraig-Muire, Dan Wheeler as Reverend Perregrine McCutcheon, Dominic Allen as Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. Part 10. The Malice of Inanimate Objects.
But and you hop on a familiar steam train because it was this way you arrived into Whitby just over a year ago. And you watch familiar fields pass by as well, the sort of those yellow-brown sort of fields with the old crumbling stone walls around, you know, some of them almost vertical, the sheep running across them. The gorse, of course. Not that any of you have any personal issues with that.
Of course, the gorse.
Of course, the gorse.
The gorse, of course.
And the drizzle sort of comes and goes again during those 2 hours, and steam flies past the window. But you managed to make it somehow into Whitby Station.
Yes.
And you depart the train, and you are immediately killed.
Murdered.
No, but Carraig-Muire, what would you like to do?
I don't want to seem paranoid, but it did strike me we're a few days away from May Day.
Oh, yes.
Do you think, like, it's an important date in certain customs, isn't it?
That's true.
It just occurred to me, as I was looking at my pocketbook here, I was thinking, well, 2 days and we're there. Do you think these people, think they're holding something dear to them? I don't know. I suddenly felt that we might have a wee time limit. Can't explain it. I don't want to be jumping...
Well, what sort of traditions are you thinking of? I struggle to think. I'm not sure off the top of my head what sort of rural folk would be doing on a May Day, but...
Well, I suppose dances and invocations. The old gods, you know.
Well, the traditions vary, don't they, from place to place? There's parts of the southwest where they march a strange blanket, a horse composed of an old blanket down the streets and worship it as the sign of death and rebirth. Up here, who knows what it might be?
Where is it, the MacLeod?
Oh, ghastly business.
I mean, even down in England, with your, you know, bloodless natures and sanitized, husbanded landscape, you have your dancers and your Mayfolk traditions, bringing up the monsters. They still do that down in Hastings, don't they?
The monsters? You mean Morris dancers?
No, I mean like beasties.
Yes.
Not just Morris dancers,
I
beasties.
despise Morris dancers. But who doesn't?
As you say that,
too many bells and ribbons.
you start to hear sort of the jingle of bells and the clacking of sticks. Genuinely.
No.
And as this conversation happens, and you step through from the open ceiling, sort of open air train station, through the double doors, out to that sort of familiar carriage stop at the front, you do see, in fact, practicing down by the quay, a small group of Morris dancers. And also over to the left, across the glittering cobbles, you know, it was raining as you sort of pulled in, and it's now, the sun's out and it's quite bright, and it looks far more lively than it did last time you were here, even for a Sunday. Almost inappropriate for a Sunday, you know. There is, in fact, a maypole, with, you know, it's not in use at the moment, but you can see, like, it seems to be quite bustling. People are sort of going about with quite a degree of intention, you know, carrying carrying things around. Is that you can sort of see down towards the pier. There seems to be some structure being built. You get the sense very much that this is a town that is getting ready to celebrate May Day or whatever they might call it around here. It's just funny that was the conversation you were having as you step towards the door, and it's almost as if you've summoned it into being.
Oh, I hope not. Oh, look, there they are, the ghastly creatures. What are they doing? Prancing about, tapping each other with sticks. Oh, grown men. Goodness me. Get a job! Shout.
Up where I come from, of course, it's Beltane. It's a festival of fires.
Oh, yes, right.
I say as
you say that, someone sets you on fire. No.
I was going to say, as I say that, and I look around, and I see the fires in my mind.
Yeah. No, there are no fires, actually. I mean, there is a bit of smoke, actually, up on the hill, but it looks like just somewhere they're burning away the heather. Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few people around. There's a strange-looking guy in a sort of a classical sailor's outfit, to the point that you think probably not an actual sailor. You know, one of those blue and white striped tops, very muscular and tanned, sort of curly hair, and he's got a squeeze box, an accordion, a concertina thing, but attached to the squeeze box is a puppet of a little old woman, and he's sort of making it dance underneath this sort of grotesque mannequin. It's kind of horrible.
Oh, look
sight.
at that. I wonder if he's giving away free samples of the Jean-Paul Gaultier. I might get a spray, actually. Get a quick splash of that.
Yeah, he's very much that, actually. Except he's about 50 and looks very rugged.
Well, Henry, have you... I hadn't really thought of it. It hadn't crossed my mind, but... Well, all the signs are here. You're quite right. Are you thinking that maybe the people we are either, I'm not sure, pursuing or fleeing might have some business to attend to on May Day, and we need to be away from here by then?
I don't know. I suppose it was just an instinct that I felt. Why would it take so long for all of this to come back around again? And I mean, I know that we were asked to attend to see Pew. Maybe that list, and I lower my voice and I lean close to both of them and I say, maybe that list has been brought about because of this. Maybe they need results faster. If Robert's alive, maybe they're pressing now harder than ever before. It's just a thought. I can't back it up with anything other than instinct, but...
So you're saying this is a sign that Robert might be alive?
Well, if he is, I'm not saying we know.
No, of course.
I think we should go straight to the museum.
Aye.
Yes.
Lady Marjorie, does that suit you?
Yes, indeed. Absolutely, I concur. We should go discreetly, of course, as if we are simply perusing the paintings, lest we are observed or followed.
Aye.
I don't trust anyone in this place. Not after last time.
As you say that, a carriage sort of does come up the old Norfolk Drive, up the little cobbled sort of intersection, and stops and says, "You off to taking somewhere?"
How did they know?
Museum, was it? He doesn't say.
Are we?
Yes.
How far?
How far do we think?
Good guess.
I don't know.
Exactly the question. How far is the museum? We all say over each other.
Oh, museum? Oh, just up the hill. Over there, to the left. I mean, I could take you up there, but it'll take you 20 minutes walk, that's all.
I look at Marjorie.
I look at Marjorie.
20 minutes.
He looks at Marjorie and says, "Hop in. Why don't you hop in?"
Hop in, indeed.
I think it's probably wise.
I will enter the carriage.
I get the door for...
Since it's uphill, I'm still feeling somewhat weak from my exertions yesterday.
Yes, very good.
Oh, really? Busy one?
Whenever you mind.
Oh, all right. Sorry. It's just they had the half marathon here yesterday. I was wondering if they had something similar where you're from. Anyway, get your bags in. Is this your steamer? Do you have the steamer with you, by the way? Or have you opted for something less?
Shove it up against the door.
I don't have my steamer. I'm carrying a carpet bag.
What's in here? A body? And he sort of goes to... He's trying to help your stuff onto the back. I think at that face, he just goes silent.
Good God.
Yes, I've forgotten how over-familiar they could be in this part of the world.
Yes, indeed.
It's bracing stuff.
Under-familiar, if you prefer. Anyway.
I tip him a penny.
Right.
And as I do it, I say, do you do receipts?
Can do. Have you got paper? Or a pencil?
Grand. I've got my own book.
Oh, well, you can write it for me then.
Perfect.
I'll sign it.
Perfect. That's the way we like it.
And, yeah. If you all get in, he sort of he takes off, and he takes a little arc out of the front. On your right, then, as you're sort of approaching the hill, this sort of line between the houses. Most of the sort of May Day preparations seem to be going on along the quay, out towards the piers, which you haven't really explored. Last time you went the other way in your carriage up towards Robin Hood's Bay. This time you're sort of going to the northern side of the harbour. And you sort of, so you pass by the guy with the odd little woman underneath the squeeze box who seems to be oddly playing a rendition of, well, it's a sort of familiar folk song, you think, but you can't remember quite where you've heard it from. And, there's lots of people sort of, there is, again, you see, like, right near the end of the pier, there's something sort of covered in, looks like fabric, some sort of construction, you assume, for the festival, and but there's a lot of busyness. There's quite a crowd, actually, and if you look back, you can see on the other side, sort of moving away, the church and the abbey, the ruined abbey up on the hill, and the little sort of swirl of the 199 steps. But the way you're headed, you sort of make your way through the crowds and up between the shops, and smell of fresh fish, smell of old fish as well.
The pier with the shape being built.
Yeah.
Are we all in the carriage? The carriage driver's up top, is he?
No, just you, and the other two have been left behind. No, you're all in there, sorry.
Well,
I see, he's at the top, yes, I see what you mean.
And there was room for four below, and that's taken.
Yes.
We've got three of us.
I'm just wondering how easy it would be to ask him a question, or whether he's like...
Aye.
Oh, well, it's quite a warm day now, so I'll say the windows are down. He's not that far removed. You can just pop your head out and ask him.
I might do that. I might pop my head out.
As you popping your head out, I look past you and how far is the fog away and what time is it?
Now it is about, I think we said it was about 7 a.m, maybe 8 a.m.
Okay, that early. Yeah.
So you've got in early doors, so you've got the full day ahead of you. But it's only the end of April, so... The fog is about 2.5 miles away and moving swiftly.
Yeah, as is always the case. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Reverend Perregrine McCutcheon, back to you.
Yeah.
Say, my good man, what are they building down there by the pier?
Oh, just what do they call it? An effigy, something like that. Some sort of statue.
What's he building down there?
I don't know. What is he?
Some sort of statue.
I think it's meant to be a seabird or something. It's for the festivities.
Oh.
There'll be dances round it all night. I think there'll be bonfires and stuff. Have you been up here at May Day before? They always make a big deal of it.
No, can't say I have. That's exciting.
Oh. Well. Yeah, well, you're staying then?
Well, that remains to be seen.
It's a trap.
I see. A trap?
What? No, sorry. I'm speaking Gaelic.
Pony and trap. He's saying it's a pony and trap.
Do you speak Gaelic?
We were disagreeing about the terminology for your vehicle.
Oh, I see. Pony and trap.
In Scotland, we call it a trap. You call it a coach.
I just call it a cart.
A cart? Oh, that's nice. That's northeast.
A cart would have an open top and be full of vegetables. I'm not a vegetable. How do?
In Hampshire, we call it a Surrey, but up in Surrey way, they call it a Hampshire.
Well, I mean, this one seems to be full of vegetables.
Coach is Frenchification, anyway.
Ah, I see. Sorry, what were you saying there, Reverend?
Never mind. It's very bad.
Oh, I see. Oh, right. I'll get it in the edit.
I'll let you concentrate on the road.
Thanks. He swerves and almost kills a child.
I leap out with my cudgel and brain him.
What, the child or the driver?
Both.
Thwack, double tap.
I think Joseph's taking a no-tolerance approach to 9-year-olds in this one.
Yeah.
I'm taking a no-tolerance to McAleer. That's what I'm doing.
To NPC
of course.
in general.
Yeah. I can only hope that when I roll the dice, they somehow explode and kill me, and this is all over. But you gradually make your way up, and the shops sort of thin out. You're into sort of, I guess you would say residential now, but it's sort of these, still these tall, thin cottages on quite a steep hill. You're very glad you did take the carriage, because it's these really labyrinth. It's almost like Robin Hood's Bay, not quite as extreme. The horse can still get up there, for instance, but gradually it sort of opens out, and there's a sort of mounded area, this like grassy knoll, I suppose, more sort of treed, but it's not actually up. You're still within the town limits. You realise it's sort of a landscaped garden, and he sort of pulls up along the side and says, points at the gate, and he says, "Well, this is the museum. If you take the path straight up there, well, I hope you enjoy your stay." And,
thank you very much. Tip the man, Perregrine. And I get out.
Yes.
Just the tip.
And I do.
He bends over.
Give him the smallest coin I have, which is possibly the only coin I have left.
Excellent.
It's an old Roman coin.
It's one you mint yourself at the Jorvik Viking Centre.
Yeah.
One of the flattened ones.
I'll write out a receipt. I'll write a receipt out for my God's House accounts. And I will also scour the top of the knoll for assassins.
Quite right too. Well, do you want to do a spot hidden? Or no? Was that just a joke?
Well, it is Icewind Dale, so I think I probably should.
I mean, any of you can do. As you're getting out, I mean, I assume you hand him this receipt, and he sort of gives you a little squiggle on it, and
I think, although on the one hand I was jesting when you said the grassy knoll, I think.
Yeah.
The museum, I'm nervous, and I have said it's a trap as a meta player, and I think I'm on alert, so I will scan the museum with care, thinking, right, what have we got here?
To be fair, you've not been in this neck of the woods since quite a catastrophic event, and you've also seen 2 people die and been part of the death of one of them in the last couple of days. I think being a bit paranoid is probably justified.
If you'll give us you call it paranoia.
It has been a funny weekend, hasn't it?
Yes.
If you'll give us a spot hidden, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I encourage my comrades to do likewise.
Oh, I can see those dice nicely with that paint on them.
I used the wrong
46 on my 74.
That's impressive.
I can see some stuff.
Bear with me, I'm just getting me bits out of my pouch.
Well, look, we're doing a
Well, you
spot
get your
hidden.
bits out
Now
of
is
it.
hardly the time. This is a 53 on a 46.
Okay, well, you sort of...
Hang on,
you scan... Oh, yes. Well, let's see what Marjorie does, and then we'll do them all at once, shall we?
I might not see anything.
You might not.
I want the tick.
That's for the record. I used my penalty die, which is my nasty green 10s, by accident, and I'm not happy about that.
Oh, instant regret.
My lucky die, I've replaced that. There we go.
We'll use Cthulhu today.
And I need to get my bonus die out, which is another favourite. It's funny the number of times you've said, Dan, if any of our patrons would like to buy me any dice, you said it twice in the Moonchild.
And they did.
And they have. I was thinking, oh, that's nice, isn't it? They heeded the call.
What have we got there? Oh, that looks very good. That's a 12.
Ooh.
That's a 12.
Oh, hello.
12 on a 53. Oof. Oh, tick the box, dear. Tick the box, darling.
I clearly become obsessed with the idea of a shootist, some sort of sniper on that grassy knoll, and there's nothing there.
Sudanese sniper.
Exactly, and I have nothing, and it's distracted me. Whereas these two, eagle-eyed.
Keeper of the Whitby Pleasure Beach, do you think?
Yes.
If I spent 2 points, is it worth getting an extreme on this? Or should I stick with my hard?
Interesting. I'd stick with the hard, because God knows you might need the luck later on, and the hard's good. Carraig-Muire, you don't.
I always need a good luck, but I'm happy to stick hard.
I think you, Carraig-Muire, I think it's almost that you're so intently scanning the environs that you sort of miss the wood for the trees, as it were, like...
Trying too hard.
Trying too hard. It's a vast expanse of landscape garden, and there's houses with windows in to the left and the right, and there's the museum itself, and there's just too much to take in, really, as you step from the carriage. And yeah, you don't see anything specifically. I think you're just reminded of your own paranoia, which distracts you to a certain extent. I think, yeah, you look around wildly like some sort of speed freak. And Lady Marjorie, with your hard success, are you just scanning up again, like where you're about to go, up the path you sort of gestured towards the museum?
Oh, yes, I've got an eagle eye for any more Morris dancers.
Oh, yes. Well, you don't see any Morris dancers. You do see a sort of an interesting... There must be a sort of fountain up there. You see what, for a moment, you think is a figure. And for a brief moment, you think about when you looked out the window of the Bogglehole guest house that first evening and saw the figure with one arm raised and one to the side. You think of that figure, and for a moment, your heart rises in your throat until you see it's clearly a sort of what's the word when the bronze sort of goes down to a blue? That oxygenation of the metal. It's one of the, but it's
copper.
But it's clearly an image of a ballet dancer. It sort of brings that back to you for a moment, and as you sort of breathe out, you do see a figure sort of up by the door. You can just see the front door of what you assume is the museum, and you see this sort of figure in a sort of young man. He looks in a sort of tweed jacket, elbow patches, your classic sort of academic type, sort of puffing on a little like it might be a corncob pipe. You can't really see that well from this distance, but you swear it's almost as if you must catch their eye as you sort of lower yourself from the carriage, and you see them sort of tap the pipe out and sort of go inside and shut the door. And you think you see them flip a sign as well, but you're not sure. Yeah, and it's just a picture of a middle finger. Yeah, so I don't know, there was something about the energy of the person. Maybe they're just meant to be closed. Maybe they're not wanting visitors, but that's the impression you get, perhaps. And Perregrine, you see a figure smoking a pipe, and you see them move inside. I guess you don't get maybe a sense of their intention, so you just think, oh well, that is clearly open. You also see, just to give you a bit of do you have your binoculars with you? You're probably not using them now, but you do see a bit of animal life, like bird life in the gardens. You see, like,
of course, yeah.
I mean, nothing madly interesting. You see a couple of black-headed gulls up on the rooftops, always. Perhaps quite a few herring gulls in the area, and in the gardens maybe like a wagtail or two, a couple of sparrows. There is something, you do get an odd sense that something about there's something about the way the birds are moving that slightly, I don't know, just draws your eye. There's something slightly, you could swear there's something slightly off about them, but you couldn't put your finger on quite what.
Like they need their batteries replacing.
Yeah, exactly. They're not real,
That is a 28 on my 89. So that's a hard success on natural work.
So yeah, there's something about the movements of the birds that seems, perhaps it's because, I mean, there's no one else, it seems, in this garden. It doesn't seem like the museum's a particularly busy place. You've seen this figure up in the distance sort of move off, but maybe it's just the noisiness of the carriage, because as it pulls away, he is sort of like a, see you later, I hope you enjoy yourself, and there's a lot of noise from the wheels and everything. You're up at the quieter end of town now, well away from the sort of preparation, so you think maybe it's just something about them being startled by people suddenly in the area. But then you sort of think back to a very distinct, with your hard success, you have a distinct memory of being outside Warham Hall and listening for that robin, and you got the sense that it was only calling when you weren't looking at it, when you weren't sort of cocking your ear and listening, or like looking at it if you could see it. And it's not quite that, but you could swear that when you look at and you realise what it is, the wagtails don't seem to be
wagging their tails.
It's very strange. Like when you look at these birds, it's almost as if they sort of freeze with your gaze, and it's almost as if their motions are only really there when you're not looking at them. It's very strange, but it might just be that they're really sort of nervous because it's not a busy area of town and 3 quite noisy people have just gotten out. Or maybe it's just the local behaviour. I mean, you're aware of sort of, was it synchronised evolution? Like, for instance, when like the, is that what they call it? When like...
Parallel evolution or something?
Yeah, maybe it's parallel. Is that like when the blue tits learned to like dig into milk bottles to take the cream and stuff, but they sort of started doing it. They started doing it in different areas at the same time. But you think maybe it's just a local behaviour of the wildlife, but
yeah, maybe.
But it's enough to sort of make you go, oh, that's unusual. Like they're not unusual birds to see, but their behaviour's slightly unusual, and just gives you a pause for thought maybe.
Well, I won't mention that; it's too weird.
Yeah. I mean, also, maybe you didn't sleep that well. Yeah. You were sleeping on a train in a toilet. Not in a toilet.
I'll take your carpet bag, Lady Marjorie.
Oh, chance to be a fine thing.
Why? For what?
So that your hands are free to swing your cane.
Oh, yes, thank you.
And so do you make your way sort of through the gates and up through the...
Very good, thank you.
It looks like there's someone in. Looks like there's a sign of life up there, so...
Yes, there was a man tapping his pipe. I saw him. But I think he flipped a sign. They might have closed. Or reopened, perhaps.
What sort of sign?
Like a sign in a door. Open, closed.
Oh, I see, sorry. I thought you meant like Masonic.
Oh, I hope not.
Did the sort of, monographic hieroglyphism.
Well, let's get up there and take a look, see...
Well, they've done God's work, haven't they, the Masons? I say, as I look around fervently.
My husband was a mason and it ruined our holidays.
I'm sorry to hear that, Lady Marjorie.
Always bumping into someone.
Shaking hands constantly.
Oh, that's Graham from the Winchester Lodge. Oh, I've met him before. Oh, it's insufferable.
Well, you...
Everyone's a bloody mason these days.
Don't they tell time by a different year?
Oh, probably. They do everything strange.
That they do.
The Society of Light, I say.
It's just a lot of men to have excuses to avoid spending time with their wives. If you ask me.
Aye.
Are you still wearing the ring, by the way, Carraig-Muire?
I think perhaps I have now put it upon a sturdy cord and it is about my neck.
Ah, Frodo style. Don't want too many eyes drawn to you. The wrong eyes.
Aye.
But yeah, you do think maybe of that symbol on the ring as she's sort of nattering about Lady Marjorie, nattering about the Masons. And sort of feel the need to apologise to Dom's character as the keeper, which is getting slightly surreal. But yeah, so you make your way through this sort of iron-wrought gate and up the path, and I think you go through some lovely bushes, some trees. You can see a lot of work's been put in for somewhere that clearly doesn't have many visitors, but they're all busy down in the town. You know, maybe it's usually a bit better frequented, but you go past the little ornate pond where there's, goldfish, and that all of you see the sort of sundial-esque ballet figure in that. What's that pose? I don't know. We trained, but who knows? If only Rosalie Damiens was here. But you get up towards the door, and there's a sort of gravel path all the way around the outside of the museum, and you do see, in fact, the double doors, and there is, in fact, Marjorie, you see the sign has been flipped, just says closed. Just your typical, like, cafe flip sign. But yeah, it's a shame.
Well, I walk straight up and try the door anyway, see if it's unlocked.
Sure. It's not.
Oh. Well, this is outrageous.
That's the spirit.
Can we see the sign on the door?
Yeah, I mean, the sign that's been flipped just says closed. There isn't a list of opening times or anything. It seems like it's just, and beyond it, like you can see through the glass. It's like a glass frontispiece. It's not like a solid door. There's sort of like wooden walkway, sort of a lobby area, and you can see a double doors that are open. That you can sort of see the sides of exhibits through. There's like you can see the sides of like glass cases. You get the impression that the place might not be completely shut up. I mean, there's someone in there anyway, or you assume there still is, unless they've gone out a back door. But yeah.
Well, let's give it a knock. At least we can ask for the opening hours. Maybe come back later today or tomorrow.
Exactly. Oh, well, we could do that, but I think we should give it a knock and insist on coming in.
We could try that as well.
Good thinking.
He's probably a mason.
Give it a rap with your cane.
Bang, 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 bang,
Position, third position. I start doing a plie. Fourth position. Is it fourth position?
What on earth are you doing?
Sorry, distracted.
You hear a sort of what sounds like a chair being sort of where it slides on the wood backwards, And then you hear a sort of quite a young-sounding voice sort of say, we're closed, I'm afraid.
Oh, yes, we were just inquiring about your opening hours. When would be a good time to come back?
Tomorrow.
Why not now?
Oh, I'm just sorry. And you see a sort of a shadowy, you see the door open, the sort of shadowy figure come out and sort of, it doesn't come quite to the glass of the door, but you can sort of, I think Bjarmia at least can recognise this sort of young fellow, sort of sandy blonde hair. You can just see in the dark in this tweed jacket. And he sort of says, sorry, I was just closing up. We always close. We're not even meant to be open on a Sunday. I was just in to check through the just check on the
So you had the sign. I saw you flip the sign. So it was open before 8 a.m.
Yes. Oh no! That was my mistake. It should have been flipped before, but the door was locked, so it didn't make a difference. Anyway, can I help you with anything else? He sort of takes a step closer.
Yes, we'd like to have a look in the museum.
I really shouldn't.
Well, we'll only be quick. We just won't be long. We shan't be long.
Well, I've got to get down to the town. You see. Well, if you promise to be quick, I don't mind.
Oh yes, we're very mobile people.
Right. Could you try me a persuade roll or something? He seems quite unsure, and he's sort of.
Oh, I'll persuade the boy.
He's sort of. I really should be. The thing is, I'm quite new here, and I don't think they'd like me just sort of letting anyone in. Not that you're anyone, of course. I'm sure you're very respected academics or
something like that. Young man, don't worry. As I'm sure you can tell, I'm a woman of a certain age. This gentleman here is a man of the cloth, and this gentleman here is from Scotland. So I don't think you've got anything to worry about. We simply want to view the tapestries.
I see. The tapestries, right.
The tapestries.
Well, I think there's some of those. Yes, I'm still sort of familiarising myself. New, as I said.
How new are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, well, I mean, I've sort of covered here a couple of times. I used to come in just to help out, but as of yesterday, really. That's why I'm slightly.
Oh goodness.
Yes.
It sounds like yes. You want a persuade roll, don't you?
I'd like one, yes.
Well, I'll finish persuading you.
Yes, if you would.
I understand you're a bit flustered, and it's very unfair of them to ask you to come in this early on a Sunday morning.
Especially when you're not open.
So we'll be brief.
To be honest, I came in of my own accord. I was just worried I'd left something awry the day before. I wanted to double check. And I had left the sign the wrong way around, as it turns out, so... Good thing I did.
It's a good job you checked. But I'm sure if you extend us this courtesy, we will make sure that we put in a good word for you, and we'll say that we came yesterday and spoke to a very nice young man who was very helpful.
Oh, well, that would be... let's see how that would be.
I'm sure the Reverend here will offer you a very handsome tip.
During that excellent speech, can I have leant in to Perregrine and said, do you think we should mention Dag? As I sort of turn around, lighting my pipe, perhaps.
I was wondering whether we should say that we're here to collect the books. Thompson's books.
Both good options. Let's see how this goes.
I've rolled a 98 on my 54, so I say at the end, I also say, we're not up to any funny business.
Yeah.
What do you mean funny business?
Oh, Christ, I see.
Well, I don't know. I think you sort of implied that we... Well, I got the impression that...
Well, no, I'm not... I wouldn't imply anything. I don't know who you are, and I'm new here. I've told you that.
Is Professor Dag not in?
No. And then he walks off, back into the room.
My good man.
Wait, that wasn't a fumble, was it?
No.
No,
it's
not
over 50.
fumble.
No. But he does walk back into the room. Sort of says, I'm sorry, we're closed.
My name's Dr. Carraig-Muire from God's House, Cambridge. I'd like to speak to Professor Dag. There's been some correspondence.
Right.
We're expecting to pick up some books, I say, looking meaningfully at the other two.
He sort of...
Yes, we understand some books have been left for us. They should be under the name of Robert Thompson.
He sort of... You see him as...
That's me.
Is that what Marjorie says?
No.
Please do.
That's me,
Lady Robert Thompson.
You see his sort of profile appear in the doorway, and he's sort of like, it's like he's not coming out. It's almost like a child who doesn't want to get told off, but also knows he can't stay in the room, and he's not looking at you, and he sort of says, look, Professor Dag's not here. I am, and I don't know about any books, and I don't know if you want to speak to Professor Dag. Well, I suppose you'd be better off speaking to the police. Now, I'm sorry.
Excuse me. What do you mean speaking to the police? Something happened.
Well, I'm just saying.
Something terrible happened.
I lean to Perregrine and I say, just keep him talking, and I immediately cut left or right to go round the building.
Wow.
Whichever.
Do both.
Yeah, both. I go both ways. I split.
You split in half.
My serpent form. And
like Venom.
Yes,
just
exactly.
Engulf the museum.
My good man, has poor Professor Dag come to some sort of harm, or is she in some sort of trouble?
Well, no. They didn't tell me. They just told me to come in yesterday, and well, the professor wasn't here, and
I understand now your temperament a little more now. You're under a lot of pressure, young man, aren't you? And there's something terrible's happened. Well, you can tell us because we're friends.
Like I don't know how terrible, but there was something about an implication in something or other. The word implication was thrown around a lot, and well, I don't know. I always thought.
Wait.
Professor Dag was.
Slow down. Who has been implicated?
Sorry.
Has Professor Dag been implicated as a victim of something, or as the perpetrator of something?
Perpetrator, I think.
Oh my goodness!
But I can't believe it.
Oh no!
I can't believe it myself. Yes, I know it's shocking. Did you know Professor Dag?
Only by correspondence. So, excuse me, who was it who asked you to come in? The board of the museum, was it?
Yes, that's right. Len, who, he's the sort of groundskeeper, he called on me, and, he told me that, they needed someone to...
Groundskeeper is in charge of hiring in this establishment. How curious.
Well, it's not really that he's in charge of it. They'd obviously asked him who the next... But he came to... We know each other, but I'm just saying that... Well, I got the message in a bit of a roundabout way, but I have the spare keys, and look, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't be telling you any of this.
Is the groundskeeper here today? Might we be able to, I hate to go over your head and speak to the groundskeeper, but...
No, that's all right. Don't go over my head. And he sort of comes out of the doorway and comes further to the door and says, listen, if you're friends of... Professor Dag, I can let you in. Just briefly, you understand, but...
Is the back door open?
Have you made your way back?
I mean, in that time, I've probably circumnavigated the whole house.
Yeah, I'd say that's about time for you to have got to the... Yeah. There is a back door, definitely. It doesn't give when you push it, but there were lots of windows. I
was going to say, as soon as I've checked it, I'll then try a window.
Well, give me a luck roll.
Oh, shite.
7 a.m. Sunday morning. We just arrived in town,
and I'm breaking in.
You're entering. Cheeky bit of B&E.
20. It's an 89 on a 28. No,
we burned a library, but smash up a museum.
No, they seem like he hasn't been airing out. Clearly, if he's come in through the front, and he's about to leave through the front. You sort of imagine. I mean, you could definitely try and jimmy one of them, or not Jimmy O'Brien. I mean, you could. Well, although maybe
it's not quite an O'Brien yet, but let's try Jimmy, and if I have to add the O'Brien, I will.
Right, I see.
I'll get the back of that wee hammer, and I'll just try and pop that.
Yeah, okay. I reckon that'd be just. Is that strength or dex? I guess there's a bit of both, but seeing as you've got the leverage, shall we go?
I think it's.
I think maybe strength.
Yeah, your call. I'll take strength. Actually, they're both the same for me, so it doesn't really make any difference.
Let's go with strength. It was my first instinct.
Oh, for God's sake. I'm not rolling well, chaps. 79 on a 65. I've passed nothing.
Yeah, you can't quite get the... Maybe it's one of those ones where the wooden lip sort of comes up on the outside closer, so you can't actually get purchase.
Is it possible to push this?
Yeah. Oh, it's always possible to push.
Just checking.
Yeah,
I think I. So there's the wee hook on the back of the hammer.
Yeah.
I don't want to break the hammer because it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay with you if you know how there's the inch that comes up. That's the actual knocking end of the hammer.
Yeah.
And then there's the hook at the back.
Yeah.
So I'll hook and I'll step I'll get up onto the windowsill and I'll step on the hammer end, leaning on the glass to do it.
Ooh, lovely.
So I have to take the risk of potentially just going straight through the window.
Yeah. Severe laceration. I mean, I imagine you'll be fine. Are we back at Oster Library already?
Oster Library again? Never a dull moment.
No.
Perhaps the first thing they hear. 97 on a 65.
Oh, wow.
Not a fumble.
Okay, so, I mean, not a fumble, but it is a push. So you do, I don't think you go fully through the window, but your pressing on it does just like, it cracks the centre panes out of this sort of like, this bisected window. And a couple of them do shatter, and you do sort of slice your forearm slightly as well through the coat. Take a hit point. But you do, and the other two of you suddenly, you do hear a sort of, you don't quite hear it maybe as loudly as this young chap seems to have done. He sort of goes, oh God, wait, where's your friend gone? What are you doing? And he sort of runs back into the museum.
I run after him.
Strike him, Perregrine, strike him.
He hasn't opened the door yet.
Oh, he hasn't opened the door.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He was about to.
Come back.
But,
it might not be safe. Let us come with you.
What is that your friend, the Scotsman?
Oh, I doubt it.
Oh God, okay, well...
It's probably some sort of intruder. Don't go on your own.
Oh God, it's like something out of The Purge. Oh no, maybe I should. Oh fuck. You see this... Give me a persuade roll or something, see if he believes you.
Can I hear this, Danann? And I'm happy to take a penalty die or something.
I think you hear now that the window's smashed, you hear this young voice sort of going, oh God, I don't know.
I can't hear Perregrine.
You can't hear their responses because it's round the corner.
My persuade is very bad, but my performance of my persuade was also bad, so fair enough. No,
he sort of goes,
that's no good.
No, I don't know you.
No, I've rolled a 33, the age that Christ was in when he died.
Oh, well, good theological knowledge, but I'd expect that of a vicar. But I don't believe you. And he sort of runs back into the...
No, he really was 33.
No, I don't believe you. Must have been at least 40. Carraig-Muire, is there anything you'd like to do in this moment before he sort of... You get the impression, you hear footsteps and a bit of shouting.
I think I can hear him. I can hear him reacting, and I can hear movement towards me. But I think there's a degree of bastards.
Yeah.
I'm recovering. And I'm sort of trying to see how deep the cut is. So I suspect there's that few seconds of
But there is, you get the sense from like where you are at the window, you can see that like he wouldn't necessarily, the windows aren't so high he'd be able to see you immediately. There's quite a lot of it's one of those, it's a bit like I forget the name of the one in Oxford now. Not the Pit Rivers, but it might be. But it's there's a lot of glass cabinets that sort of turn. It's almost like they turn the inner sanctum of the museum into almost like one of those mini like labyrinth mazes. Just the concentric.
Yeah, so it's Pit Rivers. It's very Pit Rivers. Yeah.
Yes, it is, and so you get the impression he might be. You might have the time to either hide or get in or get out or something as you hear these echoing footsteps coming in. But you are faffing with this cut, checking you've not fucking sprung an artery.
Yeah. I think that it's natural for me to check. It's like I've not cut the artery. I've hurt myself.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off. So I think I'm going to come clean, and I say, "All right, there, young man. That's enough of that. I'm very concerned about Professor Dag. What the hell is going on here? Why won't you let us in? Come and speak to me," I say, and I hold my ground.
What?
Because I'm in now, right?
Okay. Is that intimidate, or are you just seeing how he reacts?
That's pretty much what I'm saying.
Okay. You sort of hear the footsteps stop, and the other two of you, I think...
I'm deeply glad that it's very unlikely there'd be a telephone here.
Yes. Well, he's clearly sort of in a moment of, although it seems like he's very nervous, in an act of some sort of bravery at least, been running straight towards the sound of this breaking glass just to see what's happening. The other two of you have sort of seen him sprint sort of headlong into the centre through those double doors, and you can just sort of see his shadowy figure a bit further in. For you, Carraig-Muire, you hear the footsteps stop and a closer voice sort of go, "Well, why are you trying to break in? You're trying to hurt me?"
I'm not trying to break in. I broke in because you stopped the investigation that we're currently undertaking. I'd hate to have to tell the constabulary that you blocked our investigation.
Well, if you were police, you should have said. Well, I didn't know you were police.
I can't see you. Come and talk to me, man.
I turn to Perregrine and I say, quickly, while he's distracted, see if you can get the door broken open.
Love it.
I don't think I'll have much luck, but I'll give it a go.
Put your back into it. Give it some welly.
Do you have a hairpin I might borrow?
Oh, yes. Give him a hairpin.
And I attempt to pick the lock.
Love it.
I forgot that's a skill.
While that's happening, you
with my 1 in locksmith,
you do hear a sort of voice, Carraig-Muire, say, "All right, one moment," and then you hear a sort of shuffling and sort of scraping, and then a chair just steps out from behind one of the cabinets. It's clearly just him hiding behind a
But the way you described it is that I think an inanimate chair has just moved. So I immediately ready my stick, thinking, "Oh God,
yes.
no. Oh God, no. It can't be."
A chair steps out.
And so
The malice of inanimate objects.
there is a slim chance that he may see a very hostile individual.
Yeah.
Is that you?
And the initials on the chair in painted gold letters just says, "I see you."
I smash it with my cane.
Well, luckily it's a distance away. But
Not cane. It's not a cane. It's a stick.
do you have this moment of you raise the cudgel? Because it is an odd shape. It's almost like one of those
I raise the stick.
Pacific Island masks or something stepping into like some sort of sentient...
Come out here, man. No games. Is that you with the chair?
"I'm not playing." And he sort of lowers the chair enough that you can see that sandy sort of slightly long hair and his eyes. And he does look kind of scared, but he looks kind of resolute. And he says, "Listen, I've got to defend myself. You're breaking onto museum property and you haven't identified yourselves at all. If you are police, you should let me know immediately."
I said to you that my name is Dr. Carraig-Muire. I'm from God's house. I identified myself quite clearly. You didn't help us. There's clearly a concern about Professor Dag. We asked for the
Well,
books.
God's house or not.
Sorry?
God's house or not. You can't be breaking into a museum. We're not open.
Of course I can be breaking into a museum if I have good reason. Do you know who that is outside there? She's a peer of the realm.
A what? A pair of the realm?
Oh, jeez. Good God, man. Do you have some...
She looks like one.
Do you have some whiskey? I know it's a wee bit early, but I don't know about you, but I'm parched having this conversation. Let my friends in. Let's have a conversation. Let's start again.
Right. Well, I mean, you've got me slightly at a disadvantage.
What's your name? I'm Henry.
It's Tom.
Tom, everything's going to be fine so long as you give us the books and you tell us what's happened to Dag.
I can tell you as much as I know.
You know...
All right.
You know about...
All right, just don't...
A first edition Beowulf, a Saxon burial...
No.
Traditions
What?
and
No.
the witchcraft 18th century influence on Christian tradition.
Listen, pardon my Gaelic, but I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've only just arrived here.
Oh, if you'd like to speak Gaelic, I shall.
Oh, please not. No, I was
Thank
trying to
God.
be humorous to diffuse the situation slightly.
How long do you think he's going to be, Lady Marjorie? Should we see if we can find a public...
Do you want to do a... Did you want to do a lockpick roll, by the way?
Yeah, I wanted to, and I did, and I failed.
Oh, right, sorry. I was about to get back.
Let my friends in. Let's have a conversation like human beings. I promise nothing bad will come of it, and I put my stick down. Here, I'm...
Right.
I mean you no personal harm.
All right.
I was just concerned that you were hiding something from us.
He's a real reverend, isn't he?
Oh, very much so. You have a conversation with him about blue tits. You'll see how much of a reverend he is. Look, she's a peer of the realm. Don't keep her waiting.
All right,
She'll get
yes.
very agitated.
Sorry, yes. He puts down the chair and he does sort of... He doesn't quite walk...
Oh, Reverend, I'm getting very agitated waiting for this to happen. What's happening?
Yeah.
Did you want to do anything else while... I mean, Peregrine's failed the luck roll, but while this conversation is going on, does Marjorie try anything? Does she just give in and smash the window?
I press my face right up at the glass, so all the blood is blanched from my face as I try and peer through the glass, and it sort of squeaks slightly as I move my head, and then I bellow,
"Oh wow!
What's going on? What's going on back there?
Oh God!
I warned you. Don't keep her waiting.
Oh God! Yeah. So as he approaches, he just sees this sort of
emergency happening.
This
I hear a terrifying scream.
pressed mass of white flesh into the sort of the tile of glass. It was like a sort of
Snowy owl.
a snowy owl, exactly. These sort of like yellowish eyes flicking left and right, and just a sort of square, pale face.
Flattens all the wrinkles into thick creases at the edges. Yeah. Like the top of
what a horrifying sight.
At the top of a pudding crust.
I mean, he's going to do a sanity roll because he steps out. And he's already on edge.
He is going to scream.
Fucking
Poor Tom. Poor Tom.
fucking hell.
Face in the rice pudding.
Yeah, he sort of steps out the corner. Fuck yeah, he loses. Yeah, he doesn't look happy. No, he's not happy. He sort of, and he sort of backs away. What are you? What is it? Oh God!
Oh God!
Oh fuck!
It's all right. It's all right, son. It's all right. Just take a step back. Look, I can assure you.
Have you followed him in?
Yeah, I'm going to follow him. Yeah. I'm not going to let him out of my sight.
Not still stood in the window like a...
I can assure you, God's house will cover the cost of that pane of glass. I'm sorry about the damage. It was not my intention at all.
Do you mean...
My aim was to surprise you and encourage you.
Of course. And he sort of, with you talking behind him, he sort of shies away from that and actually approaches the door. He can see now it's not what he thought it was. God knows what he thought it was. But he does sort of, he puts the key in the door and says, please don't be angry. I'm sorry if I misread the situation. And he turns it and opens the door and just sort of steps back with his back to the counter and says, well, here we are.
Thank you very much.
Sorry for the strong-arm tactics, but, well, I hope the back door is open.
Right. Well, I was telling the truth. I've not been dishonest. I just didn't realise how serious you were.
Believe it or not, nor have we. Well, not really, anyway.
Has he been telling the truth, or has he been dishonest about anything?
Oh, well. Shall I just tell you? Or...
I'm going to roll my psychology if you like.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, that would be good.
Doesn't usually matter. I've passed psychology tests before with various NPCs and I've never gained an insight.
I have failed.
Well, it depends what level you pass them to and how good they're at lying.
It depends whether they're interdimensional shamblers as well.
I might.
You failed.
I might chance a psychology as well, just on the off chance that I might have gleaned something. I probably was listening to him a little bit at one point.
Peregrine, you just find it hard to tell because he's so sort of nervous and out of breath. It's hard to read, because it could be for any reason, really.
Come on, we should all do it. We should all do it to save everybody.
Oh, now then, listen here. That's a 56 on a 53, and I'm willing to spend the 3 points of luck, depending on how Dr. Carraig-Muire does here.
Well, I think...
Well, shall we see?
I have actually, surprisingly, rolled a 20 on a 39.
Oh, well, I'll stay my hand.
And as tempting as it is to spend a luck to make it... No, it'd have to be 2 luck to make it a hard success.
1 would do it, I think, wouldn't it? 219 to 38?
Yeah, aye, it would. Sorry, bad maths. 19 would do it.
Yeah.
I've only got 28 luck, though.
Ooh.
Well, that's more than me.
Yeah,
so I think I'm going to leave it as it is. And I...
Leave it as regular.
I feel like I've got an insight into him, but not much.
Yeah. I think as the other two can't quite gauge, but you sort of... I've
had a bit more time up close.
Yeah, exactly. You've been talking to him a bit longer, even if you weren't face to face. And I don't know, there's something in the way he opens it and then sort of backs away. You get a sense of, not necessarily that he's been lying. He does seem genuinely sort of quite scared and everything, but there's maybe a sense of fatality or inevitability to it. Like he's not exactly not been expecting to be disturbed in this way. And you get a sense
which makes sense of his behaviour with Marjorie, what Marjorie saw, and I just overheard that, and so I think it all starts to fall into place.
Yeah.
So maybe what I say is...
It's almost as if...
But you did flip that sign round, didn't you? Nice and quick, prompt, as if almost under instruction. Do I have that right? Don't let anyone in, is that what you were told?
Well, no, not under instruction so much. No. I was just... They needed someone to guard the place because... Well, listen, since Dag was taken away, and they said there were troublemakers or something, there was something of value here. They didn't tell me anything. They just told me that I had to not let anyone in. And
you were told to expect trouble, basically.
Yes, and not to trust anyone.
Young man, I was under the impression that you were a historian or a museum curator by trade. Is that the case or not? Are you...
Well, I dabble. I'm a student.
Oh, good Lord.
A student of...
Well...
Down at York?
The classics. Yes, quite. I'm back at the moment, obviously, but
and where
I come down here on weekends.
Where are you from originally, my friend?
Well, my family's from Staithes, not too far off. Yes, listen, I don't know any more than you do. I mean, I've got a bit of time for, just study at the moment, and they said that Dag had been taken and they needed someone to guard the place. I didn't think it would be dangerous. They just said to not let anyone in.
Why did they turn to you?
Well, I work here from time to time, and I suppose they probably thought a safe pair of hands, someone who knows the place. I mean, usually Miriam runs the place day in, day out. So he's barely ever away. So there's no one else really knows it like he does. But, except maybe me. I've picked up bits and pieces. Anyway, what was it you needed? Because, we've got to get that window fixed and everything. I should find something for that now. Please don't steal anything, or not that you would steal anything.
No, why don't we let us help you? We'll all help you. Don't let's not get separated again. That's how trust gets
all right
eroded and suspicion breeds.
Yes,
we'll help you mend the window, and we can continue this discussion as we do.
Right. So you're friends of Professor Dag?
No.
Correspondence, yes. You said, correspondence.
More or less.
Well, is it more or is it less?
Little less.
I see.
Mostly the truth.
And you said something about books. I don't know anything about any books, I promise. Were you meant to be collecting some, or...?
Yes, we were told, and I sort of try and speak as carefully as I can while looking at the others to see if I'm saying the right words.
Yes.
We were told that some books had been left here by a very good friend of ours. And we thought since we were passing through the area, we might collect them and return them to their rightful home.
I see. Was this Robert Thompson?
That's right, yes.
The name, you said his name, yes, I did.
Is the name familiar to you?
I've met him. Well, he was here. What? Well, he what would it have been? A year and a half ago, maybe less, maybe a year and a few months. But he was him and Miriam got on rather well, and he was here for a couple of days at least. They were sort of I don't know what they were looking into, but he seemed a pleasant sort.
He was.
Well,
I
haven't seen him in...
A dear friend of all of ours.
Well, I'm afraid I haven't seen him since then. I remember the chap very well. Professor Dag seemed sort of, very enlivened by their discussions together for quite some time afterwards. I believe they stayed in touch, but, I never saw him again, I'm sorry to say. Is he all right? You were expecting him to be here. He left you books a year and a half ago, or did he forward them? Or sorry, I'm not quite sure what it is you want.
Well, we are all alumni of the same establishment. The books were borrowed from the college library, and we would very much like to return them, if possible.
Oh, I see, yes.
But
it'd be a heavy fine otherwise, I suppose.
Well, quite. But it also strikes me that perhaps since we're here and Professor Dag is indisposed, seeing as you say they may have had some sort of correspondence.
Yes.
If there was a chance we could perhaps look through Professor Dag's letters to see if there's anything in our friend Robert's letters to the professor that might reveal anything.
I mean, I since you're friends, I have to admit, I don't know what it is he's accused of doing. There was talk of a death or something. Certainly can't have had any hand in that, but I suppose there'd be no harm. I'll have to go with you, though. I couldn't just let you into his office without...
Of course.
Yes. All right. And he sort of gets out a bundle of keys and starts sort of going through them. And he says, this way, it's just up towards the back. There's another series of rooms. And he sort of starts walking, sort of hunched shoulders, walking very sort of quickly off through the stacks.
Wait a minute. Miriam Dag.
Yes.
It's a bloke, is it?
I was confused as well.
Yes. Sorry, I think it can go both ways.
Well,
Well, so can Lady Marjorie, so I wouldn't worry about that.
We can Robert Thompson, from what I've gleaned of him. Sorry.
I'm not sure if I've ever met a merry man before.
A merry man.
I suppose it's like
I can't really speak for him on that.
Evelyn and Beverly.
And Marion, indeed.
Yes, Jessie, even.
I have to say, I'm actually somewhat reassured. The idea of a lady professor was galling. Anyway...
Oh, I know. And he shudders.
Even though I work in education myself.
Oh.
And, of course, there should be more women students. I'm very passionate about that. But not women professors.
No. There's a cut-off point, right? Line in the sand.
You understand.
Absolutely. If there were...
You're progressive.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love it if there were more women at... But, I mean, anyway. Shall we?
You have a wood store. I'll find something to knock up to cover that window for you. Just a panel of something.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sure there'll be some out by the back door. It's just through there. He points to sort of between the stacks. You see another. It should be open. There's another little sort of painted blue door on the back of the...
You take care of that, Henry, while we look in the study.
I nod at you, McCutcheon, to see if this is all right with you. Even though I think, I know you can look after yourself.
Definitely can't.
No, Lady Marjorie. But I'm wondering whether you're all right with that.
You can look after yourself. I give you a nod to indicate that I am all right with that.
I peel away to look at this collection, and obviously I'm going to be looking elsewhere as I approach it. I'm sort of scanning,
Of course.
to see,
Yeah.
secret doors, covens, assassins.
As the three of you sort of pass, the two of you sort of following along behind Tom, as he said his name was, and you, Carraig-Muire, sort of breaking off towards the right to go towards this other door. You pass by several things. There are a lot of these glass-fronted cabinets. They're sort of stuffed, quite, flea-bitten. No, moth-eared. What's the term? Flea-eared? Dog-eared? Moth-riddled?
They all sound good to me.
Stuffed animals.
They sound great. I especially like the mixed ones.
I'll just cut one out in the edit. Yeah. Like the moth calling the kettle black. And but you pass by quite a few of these sort of, quite raggedy old stuffed, exotic animals. Badly taxidermied, I'd say. There's plenty of pages. There's a lot of sort of Saxon and Norse sort of like arrowheads and things like that. As you get towards...
Owl mask standing, and then it moves.
Oh, yeah, I would have thought so.
Giant stuffed owl. Its eyes move
As you get towards the door, actually, you do suddenly, this huge figure sort of looms up in front of you. You realise it's a full set of samurai armour.
With one of those ones with the masks,
But with the mask that looks very intense, the sort of like...
Instinctively does bring the kosh up, but I hesitate. Hopefully at the last...
And it matches with the katana.
I run.
There's no movement. There are no eyes in the mask. But it is an impressive set, even if a bit faded. Everything has the air of... It's almost like, like when you haven't cleaned the top shelves of a kitchen for a long time and everything collects a layer of greasy fudge.
I don't know that.
It's almost like everything behind the glass feels like it might be covered in that greasy fudge, that's really hard to wipe off the fingers once you've touched something. Fudge! Not nice fudge. And there's nice fudge in Whitby. The first you've encountered.
Fudge with moth stuck in it.
Mothy, greasy fudge. Yeah, no one likes that. But
It's not Norwich fudge, is it?
It's not Norwich fudge. It's not artisan, I'll tell you that much. It's samurai. But
IPA samurai fudge.
IPA samurai fudge. You
naturally grown fudge.
You sidestep the samurai, and the door opens, and the other two of you follow to the other direction, and you follow Tom, and he's sort of
sentient
fucking fudge. He sort of shuffles his keys again, and he tries a couple, and he's like, "What am I doing?" And just gives himself a moment to breathe. It's almost like he's taking a second. And then puts the right one in the door and opens it. And you follow into the office. So as you move through into this room, who should we start? Well, let's start with, you two. He sort of unlocks this room and pushes the door open, sort of fumbles around for the light. And it's quite a small little study. absolutely stacked with papers. It looks in quite a lot of disarray. And in fact, you notice that the shelves, the drawers rather, of the sort of the writing desk seem to have been taken out and sort of piled up on the floor. You get the impression it's either the office of a man who didn't take particularly good care of his belongings, or was insane, or it's been looked through by someone quite frantically quite recently. And Tom sort of turns around and goes, "This is how they left it, I suppose. I've only been in here. I came in yesterday, and well, is that what you say?"
Oh, I've done a psychology.
He goes, "Yes,"
quite recently, so I feel like it's a bit much to be asking for another one at this point. So I think maybe
You get the same impression as you did before, that he's still so flustered. It's kind of hard to tell whether it's like the fluster of someone who's been caught in the act, or the fluster of someone who's genuinely sort of taken aback and kind of scared of you.
Yeah.
As a group, probably Carraig-Muire mostly physically. Well, actually, maybe Lady Marjorie, but I mean, he seems genuinely flustered, and it's just hard to get a bead on where the source of that is. But he sort of says, "I mean, you're welcome to have a look, of course, if there's books he owed the college rather." What college was it again? Not God's. Was God's House your Scots friend?
No. These are from a minor public school called Odchester. Oster.
I've never heard of it. Sorry.
No, that's quite all right. Not many people have. So where are the letters then? Where's the correspondence?
Well, he sort of makes a gesture of like looking around at the floor and the sort of piles of paper everywhere, and sort of gives a sort of, not quite a shrug, but a sort of open arm gesture of, "Your guess is as good as mine." Okay. He sort of says, I think he used to, well, he'd write there, and I think they went in the left-hand drawer until he was sent. Sometimes he'd send me to to post them when I was in, but as you can see, they've left it in a bit of disarray. I don't know what they took. They took some things.
Who did?
But I'm not sure what. The police.
Were you here when they came?
No. Well, I'm assuming it was left like this by them. And if he's been taken under suspicion.
And are you... And sorry to ask this, but are you sure it was the police? Or are you assuming that as well?
Well, perhaps I am assuming too much.
Young man.
Well, Len, all he told me was... Oh, yes?
I'm going to trust you. Which is
Thank you.
Quite an important, a significant development in our relationship, because I'm currently in a situation where I don't trust many people. But I feel it important to tell you this in the hope that it encourages you to trust us and tell us what you know, because you may have been the victim of a dupe. We recently had an interrogation by a police officer who, it transpired, was an imposter. And it is connected to our investigations here, you see.
I see.
So it's possible they've pulled this trick twice.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. It's possible.
A confidence trick.
If you're not sure, did you see was it more than one policeman? You don't know, do you?
I don't know. Len, the groundskeeper, he raised me, and I was at my parents' house, and,
do you know,
I just came in, I assumed.
Do you know if he was...
Sorry.
This Len character was present when the police were here?
I think he must have been, yes, otherwise he wouldn't have known. The board must have asked him to come and find me.
And more importantly... Sorry, Vicar, just very quickly. Do you know, was the professor apprehended here in Len's presence or at their residence?
Yes, well, when he came to me, I'm trying to remember now, all he said was, they've taken Dag... They came to the museum, they closed up, they went through his office and they took him. So I'm assuming this is the state they left it in.
I'd like to speak to Len, because it occurs to me, if it was one police officer, it was possibly an imposter, and Dag may not have been taken into custody. He may have been abducted.
Oh.
Or possibly...
Oh, God.
And I lean in very close.
Gosh. Sorry, Reverend.
Very close. Pressing against his body, and I'd say... Or murdered.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
If you could make an Apocalypse Player's computer game, what would it be?
Oh, good question.
Sky's the limit. No budgets. No question. No, obviously limited graphics.
Text-based.
I mean, maybe text, but I mean, like, no. Well, let's have some graphics. We'll hire an artist or two.
I'd make it a podcast simulator where you get our raw material.
Nice.
And you have to try and edit it as quickly as you can. And it's actually a scam where we just
this is genius.
outsource all of our work.
I love it.
Oh, we've got to do that. Yeah, and it's only available in Korea.
The Apocalypse Players podcast simulator. Download the latest raw material DLC today.
Yeah.
It updates every day. More junk. And make sure you get it's game over if you accidentally leave in anything
You've got to get those nuggets out.